Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations. If you've not watched part one, you can choose to go do so on Zara's channel right now before watching part two.
You, you could.
You could.
Sarah will judge you if you do.
I don't judge harshly. And then you can come back and watch part two here. Or you could
You-
watch them out of order, which would be wild. Like, why? It's like watching episode 6 before watching episode 4.
that is not advised. That's dangerous.
Spoilers. Spoilers afoot. All right, so
Hmm.
we can just hop into viewer questions though, because that's what we do here.
Do we have to hop?
I mean, your options are limited.
All right, hop it is.
Hop it is. Um, all right, so we have a few. Warning was asking, so kind of off topic in the sense that it's not TV related, but that's fine. I feel like everything's on topic here. Uh, do we foresee Jabba being moved to offense as Lord Vader Datacron expires and Lord Vader starts being used on offense to counter Jabba instead? Or I guess
You-
Jabba being moved. Yeah, yeah.
how often do you face Jabba?
I have not faced a Jabba at all.
So it's probably more of a me question then.
Correct.
I don't know. So here's the thing about Jabba. Like he's at least at the highest level of meta, he is a timeout team. Like
Right.
that's what he is. That's his strength. Like he doesn't usually just kill the teams that attack him. Though I mean, he'll do that, but the teams that are like strong against him are they're the ones that like you time out against him sometimes because he's just so like his team is so ridiculous. And so the thing that's hard to wrap your mind around sometimes is the idea of a timeout team. It doesn't necessarily win because it kills things, so it's not necessarily like super effective on offense. It like some of them are, but a lot of times it's super effective on defense because they just stall people out, and it's like, well, they wouldn't have killed anyone that anyways, but it still gets wins because it times them out. And so like Jabba, the thing is, we already have counters to everything that we need counters to. If Jabba effectively countered Lord Vader, you better believe I would have Jabba on offense right now, anyways.
Right. I mean,
So, yeah.
well, also like let's say you didn't move him to offense, you kept him on defense, and then you moved Lord
hmm
Vader. Isn't that kind of a win for you if you're drawing out Lord Vader?
I mean that's like a fair trade, you know. Like they're the two latest GLs. Yeah, I mean that people are already doing that. That'll happen. Like this coming, Datacron set 6.
Hmm.
No one's gonna have Lord Vader on defense.
Right.
Because Imperial troopers are just gonna stomp all over Lord Vader this season.
Right.
Doing that set. So yeah, I don't think Jabba's it. You just have to bend your mind around the fact that people are gonna have Lord Vader on offense, and so you need to put something else. Like, okay, they used Lord Vader on Jabba. What else can I use to draw something else that's effective? You know, like, do I need to put Jedi Master Kenobi on defense again, etc.
Right. And plan around that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that Jabba's gonna be an offense, really. Like he's just too annoying on defense right now.
Mhm. That's fair. Okay. Dan was asking, what would be the best way to engage in Datacrons at a lower GP, so 5 million, for example, where you start getting lots of good teams, but the whole team isn't relict? I only have 2 to 3 teams that can benefit right now from Datacrons.
Oh, what are your thoughts?
I mean, so this is a little bit tricky because if your whole team isn't at relics, you can't put the Datacron on. So there's that first step. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you only have 2 to 3 that you can actually equip a Datacron on, that's obviously those are the ones you're going to want your Datacrons on. I would still I would still encourage engaging with them, because what's going to end up happening is, so you're gonna have two things happen. You don't necessarily, I would think, depending on how many Datacrons you're pulling in from the Datacron store and Conquest and all that, you wouldn't necessarily need to reroll, because you could just build up multiple Datacrons while you find like that perfect optimal one for the team that you have, and then reroll certain stats if you wanted to afterwards. But I would still do it, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to build your Datacron stash. And while you're building your Datacron stash, you're also improving your roster, because you're not going to stop improving your roster. Like, that's naturally going to keep continuing to go, and getting more teams at relic levels. And then as your Datacrons expire, all of these materials are going to start to compound for you, where you're going to have more Datacrons in the next set and the set after that, that you will be able to take them and put them now on 5 teams that you have at Relics instead of 2 or 3. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. So it definitely does have a compounding effect like that. I'm gonna have to do some pretty fancy maneuvering actually on at least my main account, because I think right now I'm at like 90 million cash that I can get or something like that. We can only hold 30, so I'm gonna have to find a way to spend it all before they all just dust and I lose a ton of it. But yeah, like the compounding thing is real. The other thing I will say, so you say, 5 million GP, like I'm not going to get all elitist and say like, oh, you should have a lot of teams at Relic 5 or whatever. I will say that this game has really started shaping its turn, like CG's, by design, CG has kind of twisted things to the point that if you don't have Relic 5, then you're probably like, you're doing it wrong, kind of. Like, I'm not saying that you're doing it wrong necessarily, the person asking the question. I'm not saying that anyone else is. I guess I'm saying that we need to start viewing things in terms of Relic 5, and that's like kind of the completion goal a lot of times. Like, that's kind of the, that's what my alt has done, just Relic 5 and call it good. Like, everyone's Relic 5. Kiadi Monday's Relic 5, Cat is Relic 5. There's only a very few rare characters who get more than that, because it's all about that 5. Because you'll get it for Datacrons, but then the other piece of it is then you can flip it around and you're ready for territory battles as well.
Right. Yeah. So it works all the way around. It's just a matter of getting those characters to Relics.
Right. Which, I mean, that's just a challenge, and I mean, I don't know that there's a great way to do it. I think that what you need to do is identify which teams are, in a way, like they're just for territory wars / GAC. Like my Night Sisters on my alt are garbage. Total, like, I have Old Daka at Relic 5. Asajj is Relic 1 from a long time ago from the General Skywalker mission. Then everyone else is Gear 12 or lower.
Right.
And they kill a lot of stuff. They're very, very effective at what they do, but they are not usable anywhere else. Right. No raids, no territory battles, nothing. But then again, like, I haven't put much investment in that squad either.
Right, exactly. So you get what you get.
Yeah. But yeah, like, kind of mapping it out. I mean, that's the fun of planning. That's always the thing that appealed to me about this game, even before GAC was here, is trying to plot out my farming course. Like, what am I going to do? What's the plan?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Right. Yeah, so get everything Relic 5 right now.
4.
Good answer, right?
Yeah. Okay, so next question. Man, I'm going to say this wrong again. Mama Naden?
Mama Naden, sure.
Right? No?
Not like mother, not like mama. Mama Naden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, he's the Ithorian that has like a small cameo in episode 4. Right.
No recollection of this cameo, but I believe you.
He like looks around a little bit. He's like, that's it. It doesn't do much. He's just like, he's in the cantina scene. So it's showing all the different crazy weird creatures. He's just
Mhm.
one of many. But this viewer is special and amazing and not just part of the crowd. They're awesome.
There you go. Okay, so they asked, do the points for combat missions scale up as the phases progress, assuming Territory Battles 3? CG may have set it up so as guilds build toward higher phases with more relics that the GP alone trivializes the earlier phases. The points do scale up as the phases progress, so you will start getting more and more points for your combat missions and your ship missions. You also start getting more and more points for platoons because those scale up as well. So those are still the more worthwhile in terms of how many points you can get. You're still going to want points from all of them. But yeah, everything all scales. And then absolutely, like once you start progressing, you will be able to get stars just from your GP.
Right, you can take a day off.
Right. I mean, our last day, so as an example, our last 2 days essentially, we could have gone 0 on combats and we still would have hit our plan, no problem.
You know what I wish they would do? This is kind of a tangent, but I wish that they would enable us to always make make attacks at all times, even if we have the 3rd star, and we don't like just get more. We don't have a hope of a 4th star or something, but those combat missions are always available because then I don't have to if I wanted to get max stars on light-sided territory battle or dark side, I'd have to attack early on ships back when we were doing Geonosis. I'd have to attack early on ships on the first few days because my guild would just deploy and do their attacks, and then if I wanted perfect waves, I couldn't.
Right. Well, they used to have it that you could do combats after the star was there, and then they switched it.
Did they?
Pretty sure. Or you could, maybe it was just deploying to the zone. You could deploy even though the star was there. I do remember them switching it and keeping it so that you could only attempt the special mission.
Right. I mean, yeah, you can always do the special. It always annoyed me, if I want to do a personal, I just want to challenge myself, but it's really hard. It's hard to motivate myself when I'm like, well, no one else is gonna see that I got perfect waves, even if I know that I only missed one. I only missed one ship's attack, and I would have gotten max. I would have beaten that one, but no one would know. They just think, oh, he's just a scrub at 73 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, I would like that.
Well,
yes.
It's not, I don't know. I don't think it's about waves this time, but that's just me. Don't be a wave chaser.
I'll chase the waves. It's like chasing the wind.
You and I have had this conversation before. Don't be a wave chaser.
Hey, Professor X actually got 72 waves on the last one, on light side territory battles, and I didn't just chase waves. I just played well.
Right. Fair enough.
Yes, man.
Okay, last viewer question from Crystal. With the new territory battle and many guilds moving over or jumping back and forth to Lightside TV and Empire TV, do you honestly think Cam will be moved to another way to farm? As in addition to him being purchasable with the GET3 tokens? No. I mean, he might show up in packs. He's shown up in packs before.
Yeah, I mean, they might do something similar to, they've had, Rolo and part of, packs, or maybe bonus drops. Right now they're doing Chrysanthemum actually as bonus drops, I think, in-game. Which is actually fantastic, by the way.
Right.
Professor X is finally a farm that I actually really need. But yeah. Yeah, it's, no, they'll just charge you out the nose for GT3.
Yeah, you're just going to be doing it that way, unfortunately.
That'll be great for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, that's how they did the last one as well. They moved them over to GET2 currency, so I'm not I am not surprised, to say the least.
All right, so real quick, what's the best way to spend GT3?
Oof. Um, Looking at like a conversion rate or looking at like just in general, what would you pick to spend it on?
Either. I mean, if you have a good educated answer, I want to hear.
So if you are looking at the crystal cost for items, it is a better deal to buy the Cairo, supposedly,
Okay, I can
versus
see that.
which is kind of interesting. I think that that's like the best value option. Um, I personally am not gonna buy the one Omicron mat, not right now. Are you planning on buying it?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So you're right about the Cairo thing, and I think the Cairo thing actually makes a lot of sense in terms of like we're trying to get everyone to relics, and Cairo is
Right.
the biggest block to doing that, especially the way they set it up with the double gear on everything else. Like Cairo's the big enemy of like trying to get your whole roster to gear 13, and
Hmm.
so like to me that if that's the best bang for your buck, like I guess I'm probably pretty good with that. Like the other ones are just feel pretty garbage. I know that someone was telling me the Gerda keypads, and I was like, I think that that's actually the worst. But
It is the worst.
um,
It's not worth it.
yeah, I was like, you're crazy. But anyways, I think the thing that I'm worrying about the most is the Omicrons because you can't buy them anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like that is the one thing that doesn't have a price tag other than sometimes dollars. Like that's it. That's the place you can get them, and therefore it's like the best deal in the game in some from some point of views.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it's great or that you should do that. Like I haven't done that on either of my accounts yet, but I do think that it needs to be looked at the very least. Like that's eventually they'll make it easier to get Omicrons
Mhm.
somewhere else, and then we can just drop that and start buying Cairo again or something. I don't know, but like, I, if anyone says they really want to get to use it on Omicrons, I'm not gonna look down on them.
No.
Frankly, I think
I
I think that's a pretty plausible thing to do.
no, I mean if that's what you want to do. I personally, and this is the other thing is I feel like it also just depends on what you're doing. I'm racing the clock to have materials like enough electriums to get a full Relic 7 Inquisitor team with Grand Inquisitor for the next Reva battle,
Right.
which means I am buying electriums and Zinbiddles.
I mean, and that makes sense too. Like, use it to supplement whatever you need. I feel like just don't
Right.
get geared to.
Right. Yeah. That is definitely in the conversion chart that I was looking at, that was the worst one. So
Gerda is just the worst in general, man.
it is really the worst.
It's like the best conversion you can get is for crystals, actually. Ironically.
It is terrible.
It's horse stuff.
uh do we want to go into the game?
Sure, let's do it.
That's all the
Whoa,
characters.
we're in the game. Madness.
Crazy.
You know what I just realized?
Yeah.
You and Professor X are in the same we're in the same like GP range right now. Like I'm 8 million and you are 8.95 million.
Yeah. So we won't be there for long.
No, you're leaving me in the dust very soon.
Correct. I will be gone.
Okay, so just outclassing me. Got it. Thank you.
Uh
Thank you. I can feel your sneer.
wasn't
You're like,
sneering. I'm just saying I won't be here for long. Um, do you want to
I
look at a
didn't want
pack?
you there. Yeah, let's look at it.
All right. So I want to look at this Dr. Afra Chase bundle, which is
Mm-hmm.
$40 Canadian. I think it's
$30 US.
30 US.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. So you get two cards, so to speak, two pulls basically. And the first pull gives you 10 shards each of Hondo, Trip Zero, B21, and Sauna. So 40 shards total.
Oh,
right?
wow. That's okay.
So 10 each. And then the second card gives you an equal chance, so 25% chance to pull 10 more shards of Hondo, Trip Zero, BT, or Sana. So you're only pulling for one of them. And then this is where I get confused with their wording. It says each character also comes with the full pieces of gear needed to get their individual gear level 8. I'm assuming that's only for one of them because it's part of card 2 and not for all 4.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, you get 10 of each, and then you get 10 if you get 10 of Hondo, then look at Hondo's gear 8 and you get those pieces.
Right. And that's what you get.
Okay, so this is for $30 US. I'm just trying to frame it in my mind. You get 50 total shards.
Correct. And some gear.
Yeah, so it's already kind of a bad deal to do the 20 shards for $20. Or sorry, 30 shards for $20.
Right.
So the shards themselves, not really worth it.
Right.
And then the gear itself, like all this gear, other than Cairo, is already double. Like it's already really fast, and it's all challenge gear.
Yeah, it's accelerated now, other than the Cairo.
Yeah, and I guess the Fusion 5, but yeah, a lot of people have a lot of that. So yeah, this is pretty garbage. This is atrocious.
I don't like this pack. It feels like a huge. I was assuming that, or I shouldn't say assuming, but I was thinking that the first card would be the 10 shards each, and then for whatever reason I had it in my head the second card was more of like a lottery type of card, but it still seems like garbage.
All right, so let me rethink for just 1 second. So I kind of misspoke there, because I was juggling numbers in my head. So let's see. Right now, you can buy packs that, like, I've criticized them a lot of, you know, like the marquee packs where you spend $20 to get the 30 shards. So I mean, this is an extrapolation of that though. Like this is actually a slightly better deal shards wise. I think if you spend $30, you get 50 shards.
Right.
So slightly better deal there. Plus you get some gear. But I think it's all still pretty. Yeah, it's they've had a lot nicer, like more player friendly bundles than this. This is pretty awful, especially because Hondo's so easy to farm and yeah, whatever. I don't recommend this one.
I don't like it. I think it's a bad deal.
Yep, double thumbs down from both of us. I'm just speaking for you.
All right, fine. Fine. Disliked all around.
On all levels.
Should we look at a character?
What do you think?
How much time do we have?
We have 7 minutes.
All right, so we're right on schedule.
Right on schedule, yep.
Is he scoundrel or smuggler?
He might be both. I actually think he's both.
All right, well, let's look at smuggler. There he is.
Hey, look at you, young Han.
There he is. Ready to go at gear 7.
Just hit that upgrade button.
No.
Just push the button.
No.
Okay, so what do you know about young Han?
I actually, I don't think I know anything about young Han. I don't know if I have ever used him.
Whoa.
Like,
he does a lot of fun stuff, actually.
Like maybe I've used him in a smuggler's run? No, I don't think I have.
Well, I'm glad you farmed him at least.
I did farm him. I don't think I've used him.
Okay, so he's needed for the new Kira Young Han special mission, which is like basically impossible.
Isn't that the one in phase 1?
Yeah, I think you just lose to the second wave immediately to Aiden.
We had some people win it.
Did we?
Yeah, they got you currency from phase 1. You got
Yeah,
some
you're right.
GET3.
Oh, that's right. So if you do the full smuggler team, like the more thematic team, you lose. But then if you take like a GL alongside, like if you take Ray or something, I feel like that was the strategy.
I don't think they took a GL. We can check though.
Okay. Well, let's find out. That'll be great. So, otherwise, he's a lot of fun in a lot of. So, he's one of the characters who actually he can ramp damage across waves.
Right.
So, let's see. Can you go to his unique, please?
Sure.
Yeah. So, here, click on 7, if you would, please, so that we don't have to look at the Zeta, the nonsense. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so when he starts his turn with protection up, he gains +10 offense stacking and 10% critical chance stacking until the end of battle. So end of battle, usually it'll say end of encounter. So the distinction is encounter is one wave, or like one. So in the Sith raid, you beat Nihilus, you go on to phase 2 and fight Scion. If it's encounter, those are 2 separate encounters. In territory battles, you can ramp all the way across all 4 waves, or all 6 waves if you're on Hoth. And so, yeah, that's something that is really interesting to me. And he ramps indefinitely. Like most other things, just say stacking for a max of 50%.
Right.
He can just stack forever.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, so in the early days of 3v3, people used to place like this Jin with Baze and Turret team a lot because, you have a good tank, you have a good healer, and then someone who can revive them. It's fairly obnoxious, but what we ended up doing was if you create like a team, I think it was like it was just OG Lando. And this isn't a viable team anymore, but it was like OG Lando lead with Vander Chewie and young Han. Then you have to play fast, but eventually you ramp enough damage to just one-shot Baze.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and that like you just be able to take them out because the ramping is pretty substantial actually.
Yeah, so it's I didn't realize that it went across the waves. Like that's pretty good. And no cap.
Yeah, I've always thought that was intriguing. I mean, I kind of like I really like Smuggler young Lando a lot because he does such crazy amounts of damage. But both of the young Lando and young Han have some cool damage things. So another thing that I really like, especially with Dash out, is if you get the Zeta. So if you click on the 8 here, this one is whenever he's prepared, he has a 70% chance to assist other scoundrel allies who attack during their turn.
Oh. And that assist would have the ramped damage on it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I mean, the ramp damage is nice. Like a lot of GAC fights, you don't fight long enough for the ramping to really take a huge, noticeable turn. But like sometimes you can get there. But the thing about this is under Dash, he is constantly prepared. Like this one, he's a good character to be able to hand prepared off to other people, and that was like the big mechanic, was like he was the most prepared friendly character. You always wanted him if you're running a prepared squad because he could hand it to someone and then get it back pretty easily.
Right.
In this one, under Dash, he always has prepared, at least in GAC, if you have the Omicron on Dash, and therefore 70% of the time, so most of the time, he's assisting alongside there's a ton of other assists all over the place on that squad. And he does a substantial amount of damage. It's fairly compelling, to be honest. I have a lot of fun with him. Well, you can, in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
Right.
He sounds fun. I mean,
so he also, what's that?
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm going to end up having to work on him at some point.
So another really cool thing here is go to the upper hand, the first special. He also ramps his speed. But notice that this is for the rest of the encounter.
Right. So this one won't carry over between waves or
Right.
raid phases or whatever.
But he gives himself protection up, which is the way he ramps his damage. And then he also has retribution, so he's hitting back. And then he gains 50 plus 50 speed for the rest of the encounter, so it can only stack up to plus 200 speed.
But like, then you're going to be taking more turns, and you're going to start with protection up, and then you're going to have more ramping, and yikes. Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I mean, he turns into, like, he's as fast as a GL after he ramps it enough times, so... Yeah, he's a fun character. Like, not non-mandatory. He's not required for anything, but, yeah, he's... Well, except for territory battles now, but...
Right. We will need him for that mission.
Yeah.
Are his other abilities really intriguing, or are they just pretty straightforward?
So just in time is actually pretty good. That's the one that makes it more like the prepared stuff was such a weird, like, what even is this mechanic? It was so hard to wrap your mind around initially.
Yeah.
But okay, so it does extra damage for the, like, this is what you call, you say, okay, do his big hit. Like, this is the big hit that he does. But then so you shoot someone, but then target other ally recovers protection equal. So it also heals protection. Like, it's just recovery. So you get more banners in GAC with this. But then you also, let's see. So recover the protection. And then, so if he's prepared, target other ally becomes prepared. So he hands his own prepared off.
Right.
So then you want to have a mechanic that has him assist, and if you go to his basic, I believe, that's where he gets his prepared. Yeah, so Han becomes, so, yeah, deal physical damage, and then this Han becomes prepared if target was below 50% turn meter. So if you can call him to assist on his off turn, or if he has his Zeta, well, no, that doesn't work because he doesn't have prepared. I was going to say he's already going to assist, but he has to have prepared. So it's a whole
thing.
It's a whole thing. But yeah, if you can call him to assist with like Kira or something, then he gets prepared back. Then he can hand it off to someone else, like to Vander Chewie, etc.
So would you want to put offense mods on him though? Then, since that's going to be stacking.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. You just want offense and probably crit chance.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe some health because you're getting the protection up boost, and that's based off of your max health. So health would be another consideration.
Right.
Don't even need to make him like super crazy fast because he's not fast enough to go first. Like, he's not one of the like, oh man, if he goes first, you're gonna be able to start the turn meter train. Like, he's not fast enough for that, but then he ramps his speed up enough that he becomes relevant pretty quick.
Right. I like it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll eventually gear him.
Cool. Yeah, I still bear it. Like, I do love his character, the way he works. I barely use him, but yeah, I mean, you can tell, like, even from barely using him, I know his kit fairly well because he's fun.
All right. Let's quickly roast a roster.
Very well.
Quickly. We'll see how that goes. Should be interesting. So this roster was posted obviously in the Gambit channel, and they have asked for us to they have said they are ready to be roasted like Anakin on Mustafar.
Whoa.
So no pressure.
Oh, okay, so they were from Rebel Force Arvala 7. Like, not cool enough to be like on Arvala 6 or lower. 7 is the limit.
7.
Polo Lord. And they're in Kyber 4. What GP are they?
They are 7.3 million. So
okay.
Decently sized.
I suppose. All right.
Decently sized. All right. Ships?
That's what she said. Yeah, ships.
Okay, so let's look at capital ships. Okay, so just Profundity missing.
which is fairly egregious. Okay, and no farming of Sith Fighter.
Profundity and Sith Fighter are missing. Sith Fighter, Sith Assassins, level 1.
Yeah, but I just get, farm your stuff, please, people.
TIE Reaper's not done.
I mean, they're farming Raven's Claw. Okay. All right. Well, they've done their due diligence and farmed the pilotless ships.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's like I made a big deal of it, and now suddenly, like, no one has, like, everyone's just farmed the pilotless ships.
They're scared. I
like to think I'm making a difference.
Oh no, B-28's not farmed either.
Man.
B-28's almost, I don't know if it's almost done, but it's 6 stars.
Relic 7, like, I don't get it when people have a Relic character and they don't have their ship farmed. Like, insane to me. Just totally bonkers, crazy, stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll be nice. Eventually. Not right now. Don't deserve niceness.
But other than that, it doesn't look awful.
It looks like they are valuing ships a little bit, at least. Sure.
Right? Like, you've got some Relic pilots, and then some not. But
it looks like they are working on Profundity, too, because they have a Relic 5 Hera.
Right. Good call.
They don't have Relic Inquisitor, though. You can see Second Sister. I bet what their plan is that they're going to get Grand Inquisitor unlocked when their guild unlocks Riva for them.
Yikes.
And then they can use Riva for the unlock instead of Second Sister.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to peek at the Datacrons before we go look at the roster?
Sure.
Get an idea. Okay.
Couple Datacrons. Okay. Very well. Sure.
All right.
Let's see if their Phasma's Relic 7.
So 4 GLs.
All right. I mean, that's way more than Professor X has at 8 million, so
right.
I can't judge too bad. No Lord Vader, though, or Rey, or Jabba.
Right. Those are the 3 that are missing.
Or Profundity.
Right. You wanted to see if his Phasma was Relic 7?
I guess. I mean,
just out of curiosity.
It'd be really dumb if she's not.
She's not.
Therefore, really dumb. You have their Datacron. You have a really good team that can kill Lord Vaders in Territory Wars.
It's it's crazy easy.
Yeah, like it is, and you're like, I don't care about my guild enough. Like, I hope your guild is roasting you right now. I hope that they're embarrassed of you. Relic 7 on Phasma so that you can use her Kron. Please. Like, I'm... Alright.
It is a fun Kron, I will say.
Yeah, I threw up in my mouth a little bit right just now.
Do you have anything in particular you want to look at, or do you want me to just randomly click?
just speed us on our way.
All right.
What asinine nonsense is next?
We can have a look at their bounty hunters. They've got Executor. And
so they don't want to succeed in the game. Got it.
I will say I have seen this a few times. Zam Omicron with gear 11 Zam. I feel like if you have something that affects speed, doesn't it make the most sense to at least go to gear 12 so you can get some 6-dot mods and get the most speed possible?
Yeah, the thing about Zam, actually, I can't believe I'm defending this person who has an awful bounty hunter group. Like, just awful, atrocious. All the usable good ones, things that make that faction awesome, are just in the garbage can. But Zam, actually, she doesn't gain that much for putting on, like, you don't people who put like 350 speed on her aren't really getting that much for the rest of their bounty hunters. They get a little bit for sure, but like you get super diminishing returns on her.
Okay.
So kind of taking her at her base speed is, and giving her like 100 extra speed, 150 or 120 extra speed, like that's about what you need. So you're right though. Gear 12 would be ideal. That way you can add your extra 20 speed on her through Gear 12 pieces as well if you wanted.
Right. Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, so clearly not going for Jabba either.
No.
Okay, so bad decisions on top of bad decisions. Copy.
Decisions.
No wonder he's only on the 7th level of guild.
Let's see Inquisitors, just because I'm curious. They are...
Doesn't even have them farmed.
Not farmed.
So...
Not going for Grand Inquisitor this go.
I hope your guild... I hope that they're as apathetic as you are about trying to do well in this game.
What do you think? Rebels, Sith?
Sith. Let's see, Malgus.
He's got Malgus. He's got 2 Omicrons on Malgus. Dark Bastie's Gear 12.
So no Star Killer either.
No Star Killer.
Because they have Darth Talon there at Gear of Nonsense. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have the Treya Omicron.
They have the Treya Omicron, Relic 3 Treya. They've got the Trium Relic 3. Professor X and them are copied.
That's kind of funny.
Let's see.
A brief glimmer of joy amidst this dark account.
Dark.
Oh my gosh. Your poor Grievous squad.
There's some missing pieces there.
Like in this person's brain, or
I meant on the Separatists. Some missing gear pieces.
Okay, I'm sick of looking at this eyesore.
Do you have anything else you want to look at?
Jedi, and we'll call it good.
Jedi, okay.
Well, certainly not calling it good, but...
Okay.
No one ever puts Relics on Basti, which is a mistake, because she's an important part of a team, and you can't put Datacrons on a team with her now.
Right. Poor Basti getting left behind.
Alright, Kiadi-Mundi, yeah, you can tell your guild is probably just going to be stuck on Lightside Geo for a while. Yeah, you haven't even farmed Kyle Katarn.
Oh, man. I'm actually curious for guilds that do need Kiadi-Mundi shards, but are big enough to theoretically switch over to Empire. Do you stay in Lightside Geo just for the shards, or do you just say screw it and buy the shards with GET3? Like, I'm curious what the best thought process would be there.
I mean, my take would be it depend on how many people can complete the Reva mission. Like that's in my opinion like the by far biggest reason you should be doing the new territory battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like GET3 is not convincing.
Man.
So, yeah, I mean, spend another couple years on Kiadi-Mundi. Clearly, you've already spent a couple years on him. Like, your guild's gonna need more help. Kyle Katarn has his Zeta without even being farmed, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a good way.
But yeah, that's
all right.
the Jedi.
If you can call him that. All right. Shall we call it?
That's it. I think that's it.
Yeah, guys. I'm sick of looking at other people's rosters right now. Yuck. See you later.
Next week?
Yeah, I guess Christmas will have come.
Then gone.
And gone.